Hi. This coronavirus thing shows. I'm going to do a quick example to show the triviality of the sorts of things that CoSy is advanced enough to do. Let me start by putting down a timestamp. But I saw, I guess in a tweet or something, this New York Times um, article posted. One of the things, I don't want to do too much sort of review, but here F1 gives these keys, and I'm going to use Control F9, which goes and starts the whoops, I need to have the cursor on the line. Control F9. New York Times had this coronavirus map showing the and showing it by country. And so it's got a rather extensive list of countries. And in any case, I just screen scraped that, and not going to go through that, but I just cut that, and over here I pasted that table in. I'll go and just grab this much to show. Okay, Control C, and then over here, Control V, and I've got all this. But notice I ended up cleaning out some of these comments that end up being buried in there. In any case, I ended up, and you can see I read in the result from the result window there. I split it on line feeds, so it's a list of split by line feeds, and I deleted the empty rows that were in there. And in any case, I came up with like 221. Let me throw a comment symbol in here and F6 this line, T0. So this is what I've got, and cleaned up and so forth. And without further explanation of this line, I executed that line just to see what characters are in there, and 9 is a horizontal tab, and 32 is space. But in any case, I went and partitioned the list into pairs that each are. And actually, when I did that, you might wonder, well, where did the 109 came? I just created a new word, which is pure fourth, nths, to go and give, and row is how many rows there are. It's 218 in that. But that went and figured out the 109 and did the blah, blah, blah. In any case, there it is again. Here we get down to, here, notice that I saved that as T0, so now T0 has got each of these pairs of lines. I took the second of the, one at, counting 0 is the first number. There's always a conundrum, so this is the second line, the numbers, and that's what I want to grab out of here. And I replaced the horizontal tabs with nothing. Zik is a 0 character. I don't know. It's just an old word, but it's an empty. It's no characters. And replaced that. I also replaced the commas, and I did that on each of those lines. I've got one item here, and M stands for monadic, which means it's just operating on a single list. And actually, I went and stored that back in the name itself. So here we have all of these, but these are still characters. So this line, I evaluated them, and they're naked integers at that point, naked integers on the x86 stack. So 2i turns them into one-item CoSy integer vectors, and CL connects them into a list, and then they're turned into integers so I can do math on them, and that again is done on each line. So now we have them as numbers. And so now I can take each of those numbers, which is each pair, and I can reverse them, and then I can divide divide across that list, floating point divide, and again do that on each of them, and I get actually listed out in two lists. That's a two-item list. I can come across each of, oh, it's a one-item list. Okay. Yeah, I just did the division. Okay, so there they are strung out so you can see them perhaps better, and going, and also I could do computations. This makes it a floating list. So yeah, we have I can flip that. Let me take that, and flip is make it, I had pairs, now I have the two columns. Okay, then I can again string each of those out and then add them up, and again do that on each of those. So now I have the two sums, the total number of cases and the total number of deaths, and I can string those out. Let me put and then reverse them, and I won't bother doing that. And then again, doing a floating point division across them and getting the final answer that we're seeing, according to these statistics, about 3.5% death rate. But I heard that the average age of people dying is 80. And if that's the case for the general population, this is really in 2019 COVID is just like when I was a kid, it'd be okay, there's some pneumonia going around, or flu going around. But the reaction, the market's using this as an excuse to clean out weak players. Anyway, look at CoSy, CoSy.com. Ask any questions about specific lines or specific words, and join CoSy Alpha's open directory, open mailing list, and when some people join that really know how to do some web interfacing, we'll get it CoSy as a web app with your own directory to save all of this, because CoSy, more than anything else, is my notebook. Wash your hands. Anyway, yeah. Bye. Bye.